closely knit, so there will be a lot of cultural and other social
right,
meetings. Prime Minister is
Right. We'll talk about that in detail, but we've told our viewers that the Prime Minister will flag off 2 bus services from Dhaka, and we've also told our viewers a broad outline of the programs. You give us the details about his programs and his day there in Bangladesh today.
Yes, as soon as he lands in a couple of moments from now in this Shahjalal International Airport, he will be received by his Bangladeshi counterpart, Sheikh Hasina, and then he will be taken to the ceremonial stand to inspect the Tri-Services Guard of Honor, and they will play both the national anthems, and both the national anthems have been written by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. Jana Gana Mana and O Amar Sonar Bangla will be played, and he will inspect the Guard of Honor, and then he will go first from the airport to the chopper. He will go to Savar, to the national monument, to pay respect on behalf of India, on his personal behalf and the people of India, to the martyrs of 1971 Liberation War. That is a very solemn occasion, and the place is a little far away from Dhaka, but Prime Minister intends to begin his journey with paying tribute to the birth of the country and those who were instrumental for the birth of this country. So that shows a different attitude from the part of Indian Prime Minister and the country-to-country relationship. And then he will visit bang-bandhu Memorial Museum, the father of Bangladesh nation, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's, where he was assassinated on 15th of August 1975, where he used to stay in Dhan Munde's house. That house has now been made a memorial. As we know, in the subcontinent, a lot of our leaders had to sacrifice their lives for the cause of the people, for the cause of the country, and India and Bangladesh also share the same kind of a relationship, situation. So again, this great attitude and is being appreciated a lot. That first 2 places Indian Prime Minister is visiting. One is the Martyrs Memorial, and the second is paying homage to the father of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, bang-bandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So these 2 gestures are very, very appreciated. So it's a heart-to-heart contact, people-to-people contact, and it's a Bangladesh political leaders, bureaucrats, common people, civil society. They are appreciating those gestures, and you see from here the airport.
Right, yeah. We'll talk about this people-to-people contact and how people there are reacting to Prime Minister's visit to Bangladesh. But then we know that Bangladesh and India share a border of as many as 4,096 kilometers long border is shared between the 2 countries. And also we've seen that earlier this month, the Indian Parliament had passed the Constitution Amendment Bill seeking to settle 41-year-old border issue with Bangladesh. Now that brings into question the 1974 India-Bangladesh Land Boundary Agreement that also provides for exchange of 161 enclaves between the 2 countries. If I want you, rather here I would want you to explain to our viewers in layman's terms the details of this land boundary agreement. And we've also seen that Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar yesterday has described Prime Minister Modi's visit to Dhaka as very historic, referring to the conclusion of the LBA as a major achievement. Give us more on this.
Yes. It is on the enclave, like a part of the territorial jurisdiction of one country geographically falling inside the other country. So in that piece of land, maybe it's an island or maybe in an island inside an island, at that place, the people who are staying, geographically they are part in the territory of one country, but actually they belong to the other country. The country they do belong to cannot provide the basic civic facilities like education, health, shelter, because it's inaccessible and they cannot go, they have to cross the other country's border. So these are more than around 150 such, there are enclaves. Now, first was the Nehru-Noon, Jalal Nehru and the Pak Prime Minister Noon Treaty in 1948, and then there was on the same issue there was Indira Mujib Accord in 1974, and the same protocol was signed in 2011. In India, there are less than 100 enclaves of Bangladesh which are in Indian territory, and in Bangladesh there are more than 100 enclaves of India. So now in India there are 70,000 Bangladeshis, and in Bangladesh there are 37,000 Indians. So actually some 7,000 acres of Bangladeshi land is there on that side, and 17,000 acres of Indian land is on this side. So that is these issues, that the situation, the civic situation of the people of that particular area, because they are citizens of one country, but territorially they are staying in the other, and their mother country's facilities, civic facilities cannot be extended because they cannot physically reach. There were corridors being opened where they could cross through the other countries, but now these people will have the option of taking the citizenship of the country which they choose, maybe in the territorial jurisdiction. So the territory-wise, the exchange, in Assam, Derubari was exchanged, but later the Tindiga corridor, Amrapota and Mekiwari, these two things where there were a corridor established, but now it's a landmark achievement for the common people who are not known, who are not surfacing. But why in this such a advanced, developed country they should have a life of days? But it waited, and this was the 100th Constitution Amendment Bill. And the uniqueness is that all the political parties, cutting across the political barriers, they supported the bill, and unanimously the bill was passed. So that is a gesture of the entire India as such in oneness is extending with Bangladesh. So this long-standing problem is being solved. That's why I'm saying that Prime Minister Modi's maiden visit begins with a lot of deliverables which are seen, which were long pending. It's one step forward from mere diplomacy that something is happening. And West Bengal Chief Minister, because a lot of enclaves are in Coach Bihar district, which is part of West Bengal, and West Bengal were not in unison earlier, but now the West Bengal government, the West Bengal Chief Minister has agreed, and since Trinamool Congress, the party which is in power in West Bengal, has supported also, and West Bengal Chief Minister has already arrived in Dhaka to be a part of this delegation and to be present along with the Prime Ministers of both the countries when this land border agreement will be signed, and the bus journey from Calcutta, Agartala via Dhaka, and from Tripura's Kolkata, the road distance will be just 1/3.
Right. All right, I think we've lost contact there with Snehasis Sood. We'll try getting back to him again. Snehasis, if you're there and if I'm audible to you, we've also seen that ahead of the visit, Prime Minister Modi had lauded the Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for playing an important role in making the bilateral ties strong. And he has also expressed his optimism and positivity from this visit. Very quickly, give us more about the expectations of the Bangladeshi side when we talk of this maiden visit of the Indian Prime Minister to that country.
Yes, there have been a lot of expectations, not only in the political side here again, cutting across the political barriers, like Indian Prime Minister is going to meet the Prime Minister, obviously, and then to the leader of the opposition and the former Prime Minister. So a lot of intelligentsia and the political who will meet the Indian Prime Minister, because it's a country-to-country relationship. It has gone to that level that not only a ruling party in power and ruling party here, but it is a country-to-country relationship, as Indian Parliament has shown its unison in approving and passing this historic land boundary agreement. So after that, the hope has increased a lot in the Bangladeshi side, because now Bangladeshis have understood that certain things are being done. It's not only that they are neighbors.
Right, Snehasis, I'll cut you here for a while. Here in the visuals, we can see Bangladesh Prime Minister on her way to receive the Indian Prime Minister. We've told you a short while back, Indian Prime Minister has landed in Bangladesh, and we have the Bangladesh officials there waiting for the Indian Prime Minister to exit from his aircraft. Khaleda Zia, Bangladesh's Prime Minister, on her way at the airport, international airport in Dhaka. She's there to welcome the Indian Prime Minister. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee had already reached Dhaka yesterday, and here we can see Bangladesh officials there accompanying the Prime Minister, all set to welcome the Indian Prime Minister on the Bangladeshi soil. The Indian Prime Minister had landed a short while back in Bangladesh. Yes, Narsis, we were aptly talking about the expectations of the Bangladesh government. We've seen Prime Minister Modi has lauded Sheikh Hasina for her efforts. Please continue with that, Narsis.
Yes, as I was telling you that in the last 2 days, wherever we went, the people are very, very happy because for one reason, if not many, but that they have now understood that something is going to happen. That is happening is something which has gone into the hearts of the Bangladeshi people. That's why we are very happy. The entire stretch of the road from the places where the Indian Prime Minister will travel have been decorated through the flags of the national flags of India and Bangladesh, and then the cutouts of both the leaders, including West Bengal Chief Minister. And, in this visit, our Prime Minister will receive a special memento and a special award on behalf of the former Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and Bangladesh wants to pay its respect and recognition and gratitude to the former Prime Minister.
All right, Narsis, we'll cut you short here. Here in the visuals, we can see Indian Prime Minister exiting from the Indian Air Force aircraft there, and the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is present at the airport to welcome. This very gesture is symbolic of the optimism and the positivity of the expectations which both the countries have from each other. The Prime Minister getting there a ceremonial red carpet welcome at the Bangladesh airport by the Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Both the Prime Ministers waving to the people present at the airport, the media there, and also the Bangladesh officials and the Indian officials present at the airport. Narsis, we were talking of the people-to-people contact there. We also saw the Indian Prime Minister interact with the little girl present there to receive him at the airport. We saw him interact. We saw him with such good interactions everywhere he went, be it the US, be it Australia, Mongolia, China for that matter. And we've also talked of how this people-to-people contact has been emphasized by Prime Minister Modi in each of his trips. Now, you're there in Bangladesh. Very quickly, tell us about the expectations of the common man there. We've talked about how important and how significant this visit is when we talk of the viewpoints from the governments there, both the governments. But at present, when we talk of the expectations of the common man, the excitement, the enthusiasm.
Yes, but I think I'll have to keep quiet because the national anthem.
All right, Narsis, we'll take leave of you at present for a moment. National anthems of both the countries to be played at the airport.
Sonntag! Ostflagge! Ostflagge! God is ready for inspection, Your Excellency. Your Excellency.
These are the visuals we're getting for you from the international airport in Dhaka. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just landed in Bangladesh. He's on his maiden visit, two-day visit. And we also saw Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina receiving the Prime Minister in Bangladesh, and also the Prime Minister being received by the Bangladesh officials present at the international airport in Dhaka. We are joined in by our correspondent Snehasis Sood. Snehasis, we were talking about the expectations of both the countries from each other. Now, both the countries have talked of how significant, how important they are for each other. Please elaborate more on that.
Yes, it is not only a geographical neighbor, it is the Indian subcontinent, and the position is that India has to engage in a better way with its neighbors, and India has been doing that. So there is a people-to-people contact and expectation for health, education, business, trade, socio-cultural. For everything there is a tie with into the east, and this bus journeys, train journeys, the riverine way, the inland or the waterways. A lot of protocols are going to be signed. Almost we are hearing that maybe it's 20. Now you see that the Indian Prime Minister is being introduced to the lot of dignitaries of Bangladesh who have come all the way to receive the Indian Prime Minister, and the High Commissioner and the other senior officials, Indian High Commissioner and other senior officials at the airport. And yes, there has been expectations, and once this land border agreement is coming into reality, after so many years, the people have got a faith that yes, India is going to deliver what is required as a true neighbor. And as I told you earlier, that what they are saying, that it is not only a neighbor, they are now relatives with each other, which is historically true also. So as a relative who stays next door, their relations are something more great, dependable, as one depends on the relative staying next door. It's a interdependence and the relation. It's a blood relation. It's a country-to-country relation, people-to-people relation, because socio-cultural relation is the socio-cultural history and the style is same here. And the Prime Minister will be going shortly to take the helicopter to go to Savar, which is it's a little far away, but not very far, where the war memorial, the independence, the memorial of Bangladesh independence is there. And as I told you, the march of the beginning of Indian Prime Minister's tour to Bangladesh is happening with paying tribute to the Martyrs Memorial in Savar, and then coming to bang-bandhu Memorial Museum, which is situated at the erstwhile house of Bang-bandhu, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who is the father of Bangladesh nation. So these two gestures have really evoked a lot of sentiments among the common people of Bangladesh, cutting across political identities.
Right, you're talking about common people, Snehasi is here. I would want you to give us more about the expectations and the enthusiasm of the people there, because we've seen Prime Minister Modi has received a thumping reception, overwhelming response from everywhere he went, be it Australia, the US. We were talking about this earlier also. Now that he is in Bangladesh, we've shown our viewers earlier in the day the cutouts which have been put on across the streets in Bangladesh, welcoming the Prime Minister to that country. Give us more on the expectations, the enthusiasm of the people there, the common man in Bangladesh.
Yes, you are absolutely right that it is not only a diplomatic relation, it is not a relation between both the heads of the government and both the governments. It can only translate to the people and to the grassroots. Then only the relations are actual relations, and relations come into realities. And this is what is happening here. That is exactly the people, as I said, that they have reposed faith in Indian Prime Minister and Indian government, because Prime Minister Modi has come with a lot of deliverables in his maiden trip, as I was saying. And you know, the people-to-people contact, as they are connected, the people are required to travel to each other for health, education, business, trade, tourism. And the food habits are same, and as the sharing of the West Bengal, Bangladesh, Tripura, the language is same, food habits are same, the culture is same. Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, Kazi Nazrul Islam, the poets, and the culture, the people are the speak same language. They have semipoles and they have common histories. So what was not there, I mean, you can. So that is coming back again, so that the people are expecting that, you know, once the bus journey has started, once the train journeys have started and things are being eased, so people are dreaming that it would be like Europe, and where people could travel more freely, and because they need to travel to each other. Bangladesh is also trying to highlight tourism, because they have Cox's Bazar beach, which is Asia's longest beach, and Bangladesh is known for its hospitality. So for this, yes, people of both the countries are required to travel to each other. So that traveling once becomes eased, and the connectivity is cleared, and you know, in the loop list and the policy, which is one step forward from.
Yes, I would add to that, 2 bus services will be flagged off by the Prime Minister today, Snehasi.
That is something which is very, very important, because you know, in the northeastern state of Tripura, they are required for more than one reason to come to Kolkata for health, education, and other essential services. Now, either they had to come by